Hi and welcome! Today's video is going to be the finale for my project 10 uses eyeshadows only edition. In this project I have 5 eyeshadows in at the same time. To roll the eyeshadows out I have to use them 10 times. To roll in new eyeshadows I use the Master Prompt List by Laney. Laney's YouTube channel is going to be linked down in my description, so please go check her out. The first eyeshadow I'm gonna talk about comes from this little Colourpop quad called Tidal Wave. It is this shade down here. It is called Boardwalk. I rolled it in for a green matte shadow. This is the greenest matte shadow that I have in my collection, so we're just rolling with it. In the last update, I had 4 uses on it, and since then I have used it 6 times. That is 10 uses in total, and it is gonna be rolling out for the finale. I really struggled to use that shade because greens and blues are really not my type of eyeshadow shades, but I did manage to use it in my inner corners, on the outer corners like a deepening shade, and also sometimes as a lower lash line shade, and sometimes as a liner as well. But I do have some pictures of the looks that I created in the past month. They're gonna come after I talk about all the shadows that are still in this project. The next shade I rolled in for blue matte shadow, and I chose my Colourpop Cabana Club eyeshadow palette. In here there is a shade called Pool Party. Down here, this dark blue matte shade. This one in the last update had 5 uses on it, and I managed to use it 5 additional times, so I have hit 10 uses on this eyeshadow as well. This one I did mostly use as a liner. I think once or twice I used it as like an outer corner shade. The next prompt I got was a shadow that starts with the letter C, and I found a shade in my Colourpop That's Taupe palette that is called Cold Blooded. Here is what it looks like. And also I realized that I forgot to swatch, so here are your swatches. The first shade Boardwalk, Pool Party, and Cold Blooded are here. Cold Blooded I mainly used on my lower lash line, sometimes on my lid as a shimmer shade, but it really isn't that impactful, so most of the time I did use it on my lower lash line. Cold Blooded had 4 uses in the previous update, and now I reached for it 6 additional times. That is 10 times in this project, and it is gonna be rolling out for the finale. Perfect. The next shade I rolled in for a shadow from your palette with the most pans. And the palette with the most pans in my collection, except for my panded palette for the year, is this AVH Norvina palette. And I chose an easy shade for the finale. From in here, I chose this shade called Base. It has a huge pan in it, but that was obviously before I rolled it in here as well. This one I use as a lid setting shade because it is so light. Obviously I can't use it for anything else, but I did of course manage to use it 10 times because I use that shade every time that I do my eyeshadow. And the last shade comes in for the prompt monochromatic palette. I chose my Colourpop Peaches and Dreams palette, and I decided to work on this inner corner shade up here. It is called Sleeping In. Here is also a swatch of it, a very nice shimmery inner corner shade. And I do have a swatch of Base as well here, but you really can't see it because it is just literally my skin color. But Sleeping In, I did manage to use 10 times because it is also a very easy shade that I chose on purpose for the finale because I really wanted to roll all of these shades out before the end of this project, and I did manage that. This project will not be coming back for the next year. That's why I was trying so hard and really did use those blue and green shades way more than I would have liked to in a month. Yeah, I knew I couldn't just roll them over for the next year, so I just had to work extra hard. But let's go over some looks. I have 4 looks to show you from the previous month. In the first one, I am using, of course, the shade Base all over my lid, the lid setting shade. I have the shade Cold Blooded on my lower lash line, and I have the shade Boardwalk on my inner corner, topped off with a beautiful inner corner shimmery shade. The sun is really coming in, so I'm just gonna keep scooting over here. The next look is a very work appropriate one for me. I can literally wear this every day. I have, of course, Base again all over my lid. I have Sleeping In my inner corner, and I have Cold Blooded on my lower lash line. Again, nothing special, just a very neutral, nice look. This one I did quite a few times. Next up, we have Base again as a lid setting shade. I have Sleeping In my inner corner again. I have Pool Party as a liner and Boardwalk as like an outer corner deepening shade. This is probably the most blue and green my looks did ever get. I was trying to be quite limited because most of the times that I do my makeup, I do have to leave the house and I really don't want to look like a clown when I go grocery shopping or when I go to work. So the blue had to be tamed. And the last look, I have base again all over my lid. I have Boardwalk on my inner corner again, topped off with an inner corner shimmery shade. And I have Pool Party as deepening shade. So that's it with the looks. And that's the end of the video and the end of this project. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing as well. Thank you so much and bye bye.